The Q101 Morning Crew.
On Q101.
It's Brian and Kenzie on Q101. We're going to draw the winner soon. If you qualified for Foo Fighters in San Diego last week, we're going to get that winner on the air at about 8:50 here. We'll give them a call. So if you were a qualifier, maybe you know someone that qualified, you're going to want to be listening because they could take you to that trip to see the Foo Fighters in San Diego with Brian and Kenzie and Q101. Sad weekend, boy. Two legends were lost, one in movies, one in music. And I can't think of a bigger character in action movies than Apollo Creed from the Rocky movies. And Carl Weathers passed away at the age of 76. And I'll tell you, I've seen recent pictures of him. In fact, he's doing a Super Bowl commercial with Gronk. And allegedly now
wow, is he?
Yeah, and they said they had to change the commercial now. So I don't know what was going to happen in the commercial. They're not saying exactly what happened. Maybe, did he die in the commercial and they're doing re-edit it or something?
That would be a good edit.
Yeah. Or just to be respectful, maybe like an in memory at the end or something like that, just to show some respect.
Yeah. So I don't know. They haven't said what they're changing, but they're changing something with
What are the odds though? I mean, honestly, like
right.
How many Super Bowl commercials has he been in? That's crazy.
Probably none.
Right.
But Apollo Creed for the Rocky movies, for Predator, he was Chubbs and Happy Gilmore. It's all in.
Yeah.
It's all in the hips. It's all in the hips.
A little fake hand.
Oh, God. That's a movie that, I remember when I first saw Happy Gilmore, I'm like, Carl Weathers is in this movie? And he stole the movie in a lot of ways. I mean, he was incredible in that. But as me as a kid, the Rocky movies, all of them, and Apollo Creed. And Sylvester Stallone says it better than anything. He put out a message Friday night, and he was clearly broken up. It's a little boomy because he's in his house talking in his back bar, and he's got a picture from Rocky 3, I believe it is.
Ryan wanted him to have a podcast set up. He was like, oh, it's a little boomy.
Yeah.
I mean,
I wish he would have called me.
wasn't for a commercial.
I could have deadened the room for him a little bit, made it sound a little clearer. But
Jeez.
Here is Sylvester Stallone on Carl Weathers in the Rocky movies in his role.
Hello, everyone. Today is an incredibly sad day for me. I mean, I'm so torn up, I can't even tell you. I'm just trying to hold it in because Carl Weathers was such an integral part of my life, my success, everything about it. I give him incredible credit and kudos because when he walked into that room and I saw him for the first time, I saw greatness, but I didn't realize how great. I never could have accomplished what we did with Rocky without him. He was absolutely brilliant. His voice, his size, his power, his athletic ability, but more importantly, his heart, his soul. It's a horrible loss. And I'm standing here in front of this painting because it was probably the last moment we were ever in the ring together, and I'll never forget it. He was magic. And I was so fortunate to be part of his life. So, Apollo, keep punching.
Keep punching, baby.
Oh, my God.
I know, isn't that really I started crying Friday night when I watched that.
So so I've never seen any of the Rocky movies. Is he in all of them or just one of them?
He is in up until Rocky 4.
Okay.
And I don't want to be a spoiler if you happen to go back and watch these movies later.
I'm planning on it, but go ahead.
But, and then the Creed movie offshoot is his son with Michael B. Jordan, who was in the Friday Night Lights TV show. And then that's his son.
And Black Panther.
And Black Panther.
A bunch of other really successful things.
Yeah.
I looked at Friday Night Lights as your poll on Michael B. Jordan. That's very you.
Very odd.
It's very you.
It's
no one else's poll.
It's not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing. It's just very you.
One of the greatest TV shows of all time. Friday
Michael
Night
B.
Lights.
Jordan, commonly known for his role. And like, what?
Have you seen Friday Night Lights, Kenzie, the TV show?
No.
Well, you need to watch it. You got a baby coming. You can sit on your back and breastfeed and watch Friday Night Lights.
I can sit on my back.
And breastfeed.
Yes. It is incredible.
I'm going to write that in I have an email list saved for things Brian said to me that I could call HR about. So I'll write that one down.
Sit on
just in case.
Sit on your back and breastfeed's not bad.
But do you breastfeed horizontally like that?
I'm saying get comfortable. Lay back.
Just like, you know what you're going to be doing. Just sitting around, breastfeeding.
Lay back and get comfortable. Friday Night Lights was unbelievable. But, yeah, what a loss. Because Carl Weathers, by the way, I saw a little sneak peek of that commercial. They showed it. He's 70. He was 76. He looked still like Apollo Creed in the Rocky movie from the 70s. He's jacked. He looked
awesome.
Super fit. They don't say what he passed away of, but really sad. Yes, I know. And but another tragic loss in the music world was Wayne Kramer, who died, the original founder, guitar player of the Detroit rock group MC5, a band you could say started punk rock music.
Very much so.
And his guitar playing absolutely influenced guys today that start out in bands, without question. He was 75 years old. And Kenzie, when I told Case about it, he goes like, boy, I can't believe you're still alive. Because those
At 75?
well, because of just the life he led, a lot of tons of drugs.
Oh,
and
I see. I'm like, that's not that old case.
I know.
No.
Yeah.
It's just
Like,
it's
you're
MC5.
still living? I'm like, oh my God. I see.
It's one of those guys you would have thought, and the whole band probably, because of the life they led, was so insane when they started out back there in Detroit and starting punk rock music and the lifestyle they led.
Yeah, if you would have
Why
asked
is it
me,
like the movie The Dirt?
Worse.
No.
I mean, the lifestyle. I mean,
There's no way they were worse than that.
I love
No
that.
one's ever been worse than that. I could barely watch the movie. I'm like, I'm not allowed to watch this. What is the rating on this?
You banned yourself from it?
I was like, this is too inappropriate.
Wow. I love that the barometer of, that morally wrong stuff is The Dirt, which is Motley Crue's story, by the way. The book was called The Dirt.
I mean, they were known to be like the wildest of the bunch, if you will.
Have you ever seen the behind the music on them when they snort ants?
Yeah.
And,
I mean.
Yeah. And after having a heroin overdose, goes back and does more heroin?
Why are you guys acting like I'm crazy for thinking this is the craziest of them?
Well, because, again, going back to these guys, it was not as glossy, not as clean, even living in that way, which is kind of presented with a lot of beautiful women and stuff. This was a punk rock world.
Maybe you'll be able to help translate this, because sometimes I don't know how to articulate this. The way MC5 did drugs was way cooler than the way Motley Crue did drugs. You know what I mean?
That might be a way to say it.
Yeah.
Why would they do?
I mean, it was very more, I guess, dirtier.
Yeah, they weren't a hair band. There
Like
wasn't
off of people?
Yeah,
Like
it wasn't pretty. Like they were real when they did it.
Yeah.
Was that like they were in a gas station bathroom? Like, I don't know what
I guess,
you mean.
So I guess I got a good way to say it is.
Give me one visual. Like, you're giving me nothing.
They didn't have money and mansions and
Exactly.
beautiful women around
Yes.
them. They were doing drugs in alleys.
They did it for the
disgusting.
passion of doing drugs.
They were like in dumpsters
Yeah.
doing it. They weren't doing it off strippers, like they weren't
They're
doing
cool.
that. Does that give a better visual?
I cannot believe that we've gotten, like, there's such a hipster level of thing. They're like, they were real drug users.
That's right.
I cannot believe this argument exists.
That's where we're at. That's where we're
It's
at.
unbelievable. Is there a group of people who would get mad about the rich people addicts? Like,
Yeah.
is this a thing?
It's too clean of an overdose.
Yeah, look, MC5's forever cooler than Motley Crue, and I think that pertains to the way they did stuff behind the scenes as well.
Well,
I can't. This is a competition I can't keep up with.
You know what? It doesn't have to be a competition. Motley Crue was one of the wildest bands of all time, and MC5 started punk rock music. Kenzie, here's a little bit of what they sounded like. Pick out the Jams, legendary song. Oh, so good. And that's a 50-year-old song. You're talking about 1969. And again, you got to take things in context where, no one did that before.
No, there's nothing like that.
No one did it before.
They're in the same era as all the Woodstock bands. That's the way to think about it. 69 is the same year as Hendrix and Joni Mitchell and whoever else. And I always attribute them to being the first band that said MFer on an album. Kick out the Jams, MFer.
First time that ever been said on a record. How about
No, that doesn't make any sense.
Well,
Nobody said that before?
that? Who was saying that? Buddy Holly before that?
Duke Ellington didn't bust that out.
I struggle so much with, like, years. Like, I'm like, well, what else is going on?
So that song was 1969 you're talking about right there.
Okay, 1969. What else was going on? In the summer of 69. What else is happening?
Kenzie, what do you think was happening in 1969? What war was the U.S. in?
Oh my God, we were still in wars?
Oh, we're still in wars now.
But this was a big one.
Yeah, this
Yeah.
This was
Like, were they drafting people?
yes.
That narrows it down a little bit.
Okay, come on. You got this, Kenzie.
Like Pearl Harbor
Oh no.
Not a war.
time?
No.
Like that time?
No. That's older.
So it's older.
No.
Okay.
Well,
Well, that was World War II, wasn't it? That happened?
So this war was after that.
God, a war after World War II.
There's only so many of them to choose from.
Well, it couldn't have been like because 9/11 brought on like the Iraq War. So I know that's not right.
Correct. One of the Iraq wars, sure.
Right, I was alive for that one.
Okay. So 69.
Find a middle ground between World War II
I don't know.
and
We were
9/11.
definitely done with civil for sure.
You're done with the Civil War. You're doing great. You're doing great.
World War I, World War II, Civil War, Iraqi War. I'm like, I don't know, man. What else happened?
There's not another war.
Was this the Bay of Pigs thing?
No. But you're getting closer.
What's the war named after a year? I hate that one.
The War of 1812 was
so
not
wasn't that one?
It wasn't that one in 1969.
The Q101 Morning Crew.
On Q101.
The Q101 Morning Crew. Sports.
Well, all the sports news concerning Bears stadiums and White Sox stadiums breaks here with Brian and Kenzie on Q101.
That's what we're known for. Stadium news.
So now the Bears have shifted focus, according to a Crain's Chicago business report, to go back downtown with the stadium, bailing on Arlington Heights, and going to build it in the South Lot. A new stadium still, but in the South Lot where the most epic tailgating happens, by the way. Sad loss. Pour one out for the South Lot if that happens. But it's all stemmed from what we talked about last week where the Bears bought Arlington Park for $197 million, okay? And they say it's worth $60 million. The Arlington Heights School District says it's worth about $160 million. So they're $100 million apart on property taxes, which will greatly value the Arlington Heights area, the schools, the parks, all that stuff, and what property taxes go to. And that's pretty far apart. So now they're using a play because they can, because when you're billionaires, you can buy something for $200 million and not have to worry about it for a while.
It sounds awesome. Must be nice.
Like people out there, our listeners have talked about when you bought a new home during the pandemic and your old home you had to sell. The stress. I talk to people of trying to sell the other home when you have two mortgages. Kenzie, did you ever have two places at once? Because you guys live in Elgin, you have the house there.
Yeah.
Did you ever have two places at once or like an apartment lease you were trying to get out of at the same time?
Right after the pandemic, we were going from like the condo to a house in the suburbs, like right during that time.
Yeah.
But not for like a long period where we had to like totally freak out.
Because that's what
Little
happens.
freak out.
Yeah, I mean,
Maybe a smidgen.
I guarantee you were freaking out over that more than like the Bears are over having a $200 million property here, a football stadium downtown. Like, we're just going to play them against each other. And that's kind of what they're doing again here because I still think and believe the stadium will happen in Arlington Heights. They're just using it to say, give us more. Give us more. Let's settle off that property tax and balance it out because I don't buy that it's going to be downtown.
So just to recap, to make sure that we're all on the same page, because I want to make sure that I'm understanding this.
Yeah.
The White Sox are at guaranteed rate, but they're threatening to move to the 78th neighborhood, the new neighborhood in the South Loop.
Correct.
The Bears are locked into Soldier Field for a few more years, and now they're pitting Arlington Heights and basically the Soldier Field parking lot against each other.
Yes.
The United Center is now 20 years old. I feel like the Bulls are going to join this conversation at some point.
I listen. Certainly the Cubs aren't moving.
No.
So that's the last thing left. But you could have, in the next 5 years, let's say, 2 new stadiums for our teams.
I would just rather have teams above 500.
It'd be nice to invest in the teams and the players. But when you look at how it's going to go, it looks like the White Sox one has a really good chance to happen in that 78th neighborhood, the new fake neighborhood they created. And then Arlington Heights and downtown the Bears is really kind of fascinating. I could just see Naperville or Aurora or more easy, probably Indiana saying, hey, we'll give you no property taxes.
This rarely happens. This has not happened a lot in this state's history, but this is Indiana's time to shine. This is when they can really come through and make an impact.
Oh, man.
Hey, I like Indiana.
I was born and raised there. I'm fine with Indiana, but you know, it's funny. When you move out of Indiana, you realize how much the rest of the country hates Indiana. Like, I came to college in Chicago, and everybody had the same story, which was, I had to drive through Indiana once. That place sucks.
But you defended it, right? You were like, hey, F you.
Hell yeah. Who's your state? 49 states, it's just basketball. We do it differently in Indy.
Hell yeah.
You'll curb stomp that bitch. Don't let her talk about your place like that.
I will curb stomp that bitch.
It kind of
As
goes.
I thought.
It goes to like Daisy in our trivia today, who says like, we can rip on each other, the military people, but if you try to rip on outsiders, no, you're out.
That's
you can't
right.
do it.
That's right. I proudly rep the 317 Indianapolis, Indiana.
Whoop whoop. 317? Bulls guard Zach LaVine will be out 4 to 6 months as he undergoes surgery on his right foot. Now, this is a guy locked up in, of course, a 5-year, $215 max contract that started in July of 2022, so that goes through 27. And then you've got Lonzo Ball making $74 million for the last 2 years to do nothing. I saw a report that said he thinks the rehab's going okay, and he's really excited about it. Over 2 years of not playing one basketball game.
I would think the rehab's going okay. I haven't had to do anything for 2 years.
Jeez, nothing. So there you go. That's the state of the Bulls. Finally, with the Super Bowl this weekend, Patrick Mahomes Sr., Patrick Mahomes' dad, got arrested for a DWI in Texas. His third one. Not good. Not good.
I would agree.
And he likes the marijuana. It's been pretty open about that at the end of the NFC Championship game. Not this year, but the year before when they took on the Bengals. Afterward, he was interviewed.
You got a cigar of your own, I see.
Yeah, I'm smoking the Joe Burrow.
You smoking on the Joe Burrow?
I'm smoking on the Joe Burrow.
How's it feel to be headed back to Super Bowl?
It feels great, you know. My baby boy did what he always do. He's going to show up and show out. And I'm just glad he did it.
Supportive.
His dad is awesome. He actually called the blunt he was smoking Joe Burrow, the quarterback of the Bengals. One more time.
You got a cigar of your own, I see.
Yeah, I'm smoking the Joe Burrow.
You smoking on the Joe Burrow?
What year was this recorded in? Doesn't it sound like a super old broadcast?
It is 2023. 2023.
Sounds like it was recorded on black and white TV. How old is that?
Smoking that. Well, then maybe the broadcast itself was smoking that Joe Burrow.
You got a cigar of your own, I see.
Yeah, I'm smoking the Joe Burrow.
The Q101 Morning Crew.
On Q101.
The Q101 Morning Crew.
On Q101.
Brian and Kenzie on Q101. Very exciting day today, McDonald's people. The Shamrock Shake has returned today. We're still a little bit away. It's about a month and a half away from St. Patty's Day, but hey, if it's good, why not put it out there early for everybody?
I love the Shamrock Shake.
Whoa, that's a lot of passion. A lot of passion.
I'm excited about the whole thing.
I don't like mint things, so it's just not like important to me, but I'm glad.
Like toothpaste?
I don't like toothpaste. I mean, I use it, but I don't like it. I don't like mint. Why can't they make toothpaste that tastes like steak?
Well, they have cinnamon toothpaste.
I like cinnamon buns. I don't know if all my toothpaste takes cinnamon.
It's just exhausting. It's exhausting.
But I'm happy for everybody. They get the Shamrock Shakes. They get them out there starting today.
They're so good. I love Shamrock Shake.
I don't know. Like I said, I can't relate because I don't like mint things. You like them, Case?
I love mint things. I've never had a Shamrock Shake, but that's
what?
It's just because I've never thought to order it.
How could you not? You show up, and they always got the fun signs.
I know. It's like I have a tracker on McRib season. I'm very aware of them when the McRibs come back. But the Shamrock Shake, it looks awesome. I'm not against it. I've just never had one.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know about the percentage of our audience that likes the mint things and the mint
Someone
shakes.
just said if you get half Shamrock and half chocolate, it's the best. Oh, my God. I've never thought of that.
Wow. Is that your afternoon today?
My God.
Unless the baby comes. I mean, you got to go.
Afternoon delight.
Can't go to McDonald's on the way home
We'll
there.
stop on the way to the hospital.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're going to get thirsty.
That'd be hilarious if we walked into the emergency room and the delivery room with 2 Shamrock Shakes, half mixed with chocolate.
Why is that hilarious?
Yeah, girls got to drink.
I think it's a funny
I'm going to be there
visual.
for a while.
Yeah.
When my girl has a kid, I'm bringing the PlayStation to the hospital. We're gonna get comfortable, sit down there a while.
So Case, before we went on the air, told us a story about what was his name again now?
Oh, okay. So I learned this yesterday because the internet rocks, and I love finding little historical nuggets. The original mascot for the Shamrock Shake was a character named Uncle O'Grimace.
Okay.
Kenzie, in particular, knows how big of a fan of Grimace I am. She hosted a celebrity softball game last year that Grimace was at. Got to meet Grimace. I was super jealous of the entire thing. And
I wasn't expecting that, by the way. There was like baseball players there. You would have liked.
No, I was just like, oh my God, she took her photo with Grimace. And so now I learned that I have to hunt down Uncle O'Grimace, the green Grimace character that was the original mascot of the Shamrock Shake in the 1980s.
So I just looked him up. He
Yeah.
looks exactly like Grimace, except he's green and he has like a little leprechaun outfit on.
And he has a shillelagh.
What's that?
That's the wooden stick. That's an Irish weapon.
A weapon. It's not a walking stick?
More of a weapon.
It's a weapon hidden as a walking stick.
Yes.
So you could use it in a pinch.
Are you sure it's on a walking stick?
It's a shillelagh. I'm on McDonald's.fandom/wiki right now, the McDonald's Wikipedia, and it listed as a shillelagh.
Oh, man.
But a shillelagh is just a wood stick as a weapon?
Oh, it can be.
By the way, the green Grimace in that outfit is absolutely stunning. They got to bring back Uncle O Grimace.
You want a piece of that, Brian?
This might convert me to mint things. I don't know.
Okay, so wait, what happened? Why is he canceled?
So, this is the unfortunate news that I found out about Uncle O Grimace over the weekend.
Now that you're in love with him.
Yeah.
Which is that McDonald's discontinued him as a mascot because there was a person in Philadelphia at a McDonald's dressed up as the character, and allegedly he was spreading pro-IRA, I guess conspiracies would be the word, but pro-Ireland army thought points throughout the event, and it got back to McDonald's corporate, and they canned the entire mascot.
Oh, because of one guy?
I would like to point something out. One, this was just word of mouth. So imagine how much he had to say.
I know.
Because this isn't like tweeting, right? So imagine the amount he had to say for it to get back to McDonald's corporate where they're like, we have a real issue here. Two, the mascots aren't supposed to talk.
Yeah. Keep your mouth shut and sell the shakes.
Like, Grimace doesn't talk.
Instead, he's talking about the Irish Republican Army and the terrorist organizations, like things that go on.
It's a bummer. It's a bummer.
I wonder if he actually felt like he was in character and he's like trying to do his job the best.
He was like, you guys have to hear about this band, the Cranberries. Also,
You know,
while I
like,
have your
yeah.
attention.
I feel like, because what are the odds that that's what he was talking about? Like, there's no way he's just passionate about that.
I wanted to tell you my opinion of the IRA and also enjoy this mint shake. I mean, I don't know how that was going to play out.
The Q101 Morning Crew.
On Q101.
That is Green Day, and Lauren will have your next chance to see Green Day in San Francisco coming up at 11 a.m. And all day, then Brian Phillips will have a shot. We'll have a shot again tomorrow morning at 7. So make sure you're here. Green Day in San Francisco and a $100 Visa gift card just for qualifying. As we get to the takeaways from today from you guys, 312-591-8300. Case, what do you got?
Nate from Valpo checked in. He said, my takeaway is that Uncle O Grimace has a walking stick that can turn into a club. So if needed, he can beat you to death.
Well, you gotta beat the hose off when you got that Shamrock Shake and that nice skin, baby.
Get yourself a Shamrock Shake today. Kenzie, what do you have?
My mom actually texted me,
Oh.
so I chose hers. And she goes, Case is the mayor of Nerdville. And then she goes, I mean that in the best way possible, though.
Oh, nice recovery.
I understand.
I love my mom. I think it's when you were going off on your Grimace tangent.
I love Grimace. I love all mascots. I'm so excited for baseball season to come back so I can hang out with Southpaw at the White Sox game again.
Some minor league teams should pick up Uncle O Grimace.
I know.
You know what would be funny is if your girlfriend went through your phone and was like, worried about your DMs, you're probably sliding in mascots DMs.
I DM'd Benny the Bull when I was at the Bulls game to see if he could come to my section. Hey, man, longtime fan.
DM the Philly Fanatic. What are you?
Well, Southpaw is a girl, so she better be like, whoa, back off, inappropriate.
Southpaw's the homie.
Finally, takeaway from Eric in Indiana, 219. Takeaway. The War of 1812 happened during the summer of 69. You miss a moment, miss a lot. Go to the podcast, the new Brian and Kenzie podcast, available at Q101.com and everywhere you get your podcasts. In case you want to talk about a certain segment from today's show.
Well, here's what you can expect if you download the Brian and Kenzie podcast this afternoon. You've got a few different choices here. In the 6 a.m. hour, Kenzie learned the art of ear foreplay and why it's important to take care of your ears. You can start there. 7 o'clock, we talked about the Dalton mayor and how she is at it again. If you think we are through with her, we are not. She is now giving away $1 million in a town where the average income is $29,000. And then also, if you've been listening over the last month and you thought, man, Brian and Case, not a lot has happened in that weight loss challenge. Big things happened today. You have the replay of the weight loss challenge. All of that and more is at the Brian and Kenzie podcast on your podcast provider of choice.
The Q101 Morning Crew.
On Q101.